Welcome back to Sir Tarquin's Abs, that's ABS for Army Build Series. Today I've got a Minibus build. This is probably primarily like a single player army that you can bring in, or not single player, sorry, multiplayer army that you can bring in battles. However, it can be used in single player. I think the strat with old Beastmen before their rework was to spam Minotaurs. And in Game 3, things are obviously different with the new Beastman rework and everything. However, Minotaurs are still king. In fact, I would say they're almost better than ever at this point. So, for the army, it's mainly just some, obviously, Minotaurs. And then we've got Gore Herd, a few of them, and some Ungore Spears. It's going to be 5 units of Minotaurs. We've got the Butchers of Kalkengard in the middle to give us some leadership bombs. They do have Terror, which is really, really useful for routing infantry. And then we've got Minotaurs, just regular variant. They have the anti-infantry bonus. And then Great Weapons on the flanks to deal with any calves or anything on the outside. Over here we do also have some Centaur's Great Weapons, some Chaos Warhounds. It's good to have something to kind of run down those faster pieces. Minotaurs are only 62 speed, so they're not going to be able to catch most cavalry in the game. We are led by a Doombull, and then on the far side over here, we do have a Brace Shaman of Wild. So for our opponent's build, we have Outriders with grenade launchers. I definitely would recommend Pistoliers here. There's not a ton of Beastmen infantry that Beastmen are going to be incentivized to take. Bestigors, despite buffs, are still not that great, though I do like bringing them. Maybe I'll do that sometime. A Hellstorm rocket battery in the back. I think we have a couple Huntsman units, which are definitely a dangerous piece, and a whole ton of spears and halberds. This is a really dangerous army for us to go up against. However, this is going to show the power of Minotaurs. We're going to see exactly how far we can take this. So we're coming on the flanks. There's really no good targets for these great weapon Minotaurs. They, I guess there's one right here, Empire Knights, and they're going to get absolutely clapped by those great weapons. But for the most part, Great Weapon Minotaurs aren't going to have near as much success as these Minotaurs with the anti-infantry bonus. They're probably going to have the best. Now, something really, really different that has kind of flown under the radar, in my opinion at least. Nice little flank here from the Centaurs, getting in the back line. Huntsmen are pretty much fully taken care of. All the back line is in shambles. We do have a couple gunners still freed. But, as I was saying, the big difference that happened to Minotaurs, it flew under the radar when Game 3 came out, is they had a change to Blood Greed. I believe this happened when Game 3 came out. But Blood Greed, I think, just a buff when they were in melee. I can't remember the exact buff, but now it is a scaling buff. It scales with intensity per kill, so I think when they get to 200 kills, they have this maxed up. But it is a really good buff. It has charge bonus, armor, weapon, piercing damage, and melee attack, which is huge. Immune Psychology also is not too shabby. But it goes up to 16, which is really good. They're going to keep hitting harder and harder and harder. And the thing that's super nice with this is it is on each and every one of the variants. So the great weapons that are anti-large, or the anti-infantry, which are probably going to get more kills since they're killing infantry units. It's a much better buff for them specifically. Or just the Butchers of Kalkengard. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, here they are. With no bonus at all, hitting at 50 melee attack. Now, they are obviously an ROR, so they have boosted stats to begin with, but it is a really, really good tech. Now, you would not think that the Minotaurs would be having near as much success as they are against just a mass amount of spearmen and halberds, but they are actually kicking butt, and it's pretty fun to see. A lot of the Minotaurs are getting low, but 142 kills, that's buffing their Blood Greed. They are getting plus 11 melee attack, which is absolutely insane. As you can see, this general, which is on a horse, just got bodied by these great weapon Minotaurs. Super duper nice. Doombull probably hasn't been doing too much. I think he's been chasing off these Outriders, just trying to keep them from shooting too much, which, to be fair, isn't that actually important, seeing as all of our infantry are basically chaff or Gore Herd, which are very mid-tier infantry, and Outriders aren't going to do much to Minotaurs, which is the bulk of this army. So, for the most part, we've rounded off basically everything. It's just a bunch of spears, and again, it is impressive to me how well these Minotaurs are doing into halberds, spears, all these anti-infantry units. They're getting absolutely crazy amounts of buffs. As you can see, over 100 kills on these great weapons. They're getting buffed almost plus 10. It's plus 9 right now, but big melee stats just being buffed across the board. Empire General did come back, but we're probably going to get the last nail in the coffin here. Everything is starting to break, rout, and shatter. That is the GG. It's going to be a bit of a quick one, but this is what we get with a Minobus. Minobus builds are pretty quick. You want to have all of your infantry units in the vanguard. They're going to be up front. The combat's going to start super fast, and it's either going to go super fast or, well, it's going to go super fast either in your favor or against your favor. Minotaurs are not the tankiest brutes. However, they definitely paid for themselves this time around. Beautiful value on a lot of these targets. Butchers of Kalkengard paying for themselves, plus a little, which is super duper nice to see. As you can see, the Doom Bowl basically did nothing. I think probably the most optimal, not as thematic, but is to just bring a Bray Shaman, a Great Bray Shaman as the Lord slot. You can probably fit a couple more exterior pieces out here, but I do think this is the way to go when you want to bring Minotaurs as a core. A couple of these anti-infantry ones to rack up the kills and get those buffs going, which is a Kalkengard in the middle to bring those terror routes, and then on the flanks, these great weapons to kill any cavalry or large monsters. It's very, very efficient. Obviously, you could change this build as you need per your playstyle. I think Ungor Raiders would be a great thing to throw in here. I didn't give myself any range pieces at all, but we were limit testing a little bit, and luckily this went really, really well. As you can see, even against an opponent that definitely had the counter. Tons of halberds, a bunch of spears, gunners. I don't know if gunners are the best option, but he did also bring the Huntsman. I think the big mistake was the Outriders. Against Beastmen, there's really no good targets unless I were to go for a ton of Bestigors, so that definitely didn't work out in his favor. And the Hailstorm Rocket Battery, again, they're not effective against anything but infantry, really. So Beastmen don't, like, boast the best infantry, so I would definitely think on switching those three. He also didn't bring magic, so definitely definitely a nice matchup for me, at least. I was able to win that pretty efficiently. Regardless, it did showcase the build. Hopefully you enjoyed watching a nice little Minobus. I do enjoy that playstyle quite a bit. Sorry again for the late notice on this, or the late posting on this video. I have been a little bit behind, but I'm feeling much better. Hopefully we get a next patch this coming week, and it brings even more things to go over, more things to introduce, more builds that I can investigate. So, thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you later.